stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
After an absolute ripper last week, we now come to Sin City and round number 5 of the CleanRacing.net Truck Series. Tony Passo up in the booth with you tonight for this one. Thank you so much for making us a part of your evening. Practice getting ready to wind on down now. We do need to thank our good friends at the RingsideReport.net, without whom this broadcast would not be possible. Pretty decent-sized field tonight. There's a lot of guys returning from vacation. I'm counting 25 haulers in the infield tonight as we're getting ready to kick over to qualifying. There goes the timer expiring. As we are just waiting for the last couple of stragglers. And boom goes the dynamite. Kicking over to qualifying now. Single car qualifying for 2 laps. Let's take a quick look at the points coming into tonight. Matt Batby atop the pile right now. Chris Worrell right on his heels as those two have finished 1-2 in the past 3 races together. Michael Anthony currently sitting in a safe 3rd position. Defending series champion Greg Barnett still within striking distance. Jeremy Morrison, Kevin Becker right on his heels though. Parker Collins moves into the top 10. Lane Hosler, Nate Brown drops a couple of spots after missing last week. Stephen Tuck rounding out your top 10 as he's got Chris Smith right on his heels, only 1 point separating those two. Jamie LaRoque sitting 12th right now. Good to see Jamie up there in points. And if you look, we got a tie back there for 17th. Actually, we got a couple of ties. Tied for 14th and a tie for 17th. Jeremy Moore and Logan Banfield tied for 14th. Sorry, Logan Banfield and Austin Carey tied for 14th. Brian Toole and Abram Gaston tied for 17th. As qualifying on track right now, let's bring up that so we can see what on earth is going on here. Batby going to put the provisional poll up there as soon as my cameras decide they want to work. There we go. There is Batby as Jamie LaRoque bumps him off on lap 1. And of course, Trading Paint's not playing fairly with me as Jeremy Morrison in the 75 jumps up to quick time right now. Nate Brown's going to slide into 8th. Chris Worrell out on track, as is Michael Anthony. As we were just waiting for Trading Paints to actually start working, folks. I do apologize for this. Parker Collins quickly going second quick in the Ricmatech number 18. Michael Anthony's going to slide in 9th quick on his opening salvo. There is Worrell coming to take the green for his first flyer. This marks the 6th time the CleanRacing.net series has been to Vegas. And 2 past winners in the field tonight in the form of Lane Hosler, who won in seasons 5 and 7. Evan Kinney won back in season 8. As we're following Worrell around here. Pretty decent lap going so far. Across the line for Worrell, 15th quick on his first one. Ken Pack blisters one coming out at 2. He is on his second flyer right now with a good head of steam. See what this time is going to give for Pack. Moves him up to 9th quick. Let's check back with Chris Smith. There he is in the Mobile 1 Toyota. As Worrell crosses for his second lap. That's going to move him up to 8th quick. Past race winner, there's Lane Hosler in the Hosler Fence and Construction number 61. Joey Stiers coming around to complete his first flyer. This is one of those places that Stiers hasn't won yet at. And I say yet because this is on his bucket list to definitely cross off. Series debutant Ryan Twain joining the field as he is on his outlap right now. Stephen Tuck, Austin Carey jumps up to 13th. Stephen Tuck on his second flyer. Let's see if he's going to improve here. Stiers jumps up to 13th. Tuck goes to 18th. There is Lane Hosler. Coming down the Nellis Back Radio with a good head of steam. He is in the green on this one, so it is a little bit quicker than his opening lap. Let's see what this one is going to do. Hosler goes 20th quick on his first. Here comes Twain to put his first lap in the books. He's going to go 19th. Let's see if Hosler can improve any, as we're still waiting on Justin Carey, Evan Gaston, Tommy Osborne, Kevin Becker, and Fred Garcia did not lay times in qualifying. So let's take a look at tonight's starting grid, shall we? There it goes. Matt Batby setting quick time with a 30.990. 1/1000th to the good over James Lowe in his second race here with the CleanRacing.net Truck Series. Parker Collins and Brian Toole are going to roll it off in row number 2. Nate Brown and Jeremy Moore make up row number 3. Row 4 is going to go to Michael Anthony and Chris Worrell, the two balls out teammates. Going to be starting right next to each other there in row number 4. Darren Staff and Ken Pack make up row number 5. Defending series champion Greg Barnett's going to be joined with Jeremy Morrison in row number 6. Come on. There we go. Row number 7 is going to see Joey Stiers and Austin Carey. Chris Smith and Kevin Haith in row number 8. Evan Kinney and Stephen Tuck in row number 9. Row 10 is going to go to Ryan Twain and Jamie LaRoque. Lane Hosler, the last one to lay a time in qualifying, is going to start 21st. He's going to be joined in row 11 with Kevin Becker. Abram Gaston and Austin Carey rolling it off in row number 12. Row 13, starting shotgun on the field, Tommy Osborne and Fred Garcia. 26 trucks scheduled to roll it here tonight. 4 sets of tires to get it done with, as we get ready to go 120 laps here at Vegas. As we are just waiting for last couple of stragglers to grid up. So there you see Batby in the Exalted 25. Batby's had a little bit of bad luck as of late, looking to turn that around here tonight in the City of Sin. And I have to admit, I'm kind of digging what's on Brian Toole's. Actually, no, that's not the one I was looking for. Where is it? Is he running it? Yes, he is. Go Cuse, Brownie Racing, number 5. I told Nate he needed to do one. He finally did one. Good luck to you, Nate. Good luck to the Cuse this weekend in the football game. Everybody lining up behind the iRacing pace car tonight. Thank you so much for making this a part of your Monday evening. If you haven't done so already, subscribe and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action here on Sim Racing Media. So we have racing 7 nights a week, folks. You don't want to miss a single moment of action. As the field works its way through the 3-4 complex, Geico Restart Zone is in effect. The only thing that's left to say is, it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some popcorn and your bingo chips, because it's time to get it on in Sin City. Race fans, it's showtime! Batby drops the hammer, logos with him, as does Parker Collins. A little bit of a breakaway at the front of this piece is Brian Toole, Jeremy Moore, and Nate Brown not getting the getaway that they were all hoping for. Batby shows the way, coming down the Nellis back straightaway for the first time. they fan out, doing a modified Indy snake. It's Parker Collins trying to get the front end of that Toyota into some clean air as they work their way off of turn number 4. Drag race to the line. So far it's going to be Batby, but here comes Collins on the top shelf with a good head of steam going into turn number 1. Batby and Collins trying to get that one sorted out as we've got some battling going on in the mid-pack as Chris Worrell works to the inside of Jeremy Moore in the 9. Here comes the 12 of Ken Pack. Ken trying to make some good headway here. Michael Anthony trying to make some ground early. The 69 of Darren Staff right there as well. And if they want to tell Darren he's got the wrong color on that truck for Coors Light. How's the old saying go? Don't drink it if the mountains aren't blue. Definitely don't drink that one tonight. As Batby and Collins go door to door, coming through 3 and 4. Collins gives plenty of room. As Batby keeps his foot in it, is going to lead yet another lap. Going to try to bring James Lowe with him. Is Lowe working on the low side in the 77 here tonight? Matt Batby, Parker Collins, James Lowe, Brian Toole, Chris Worrell, your top 5 as we currently sit. But they are 3 wide back around where defending series champion Greg Barnett currently sits in 12th. 2 wide in front of him as Morrison and Brown go door to door for 10th. For that matter, the 12 of Pack working the inside of Jeremy Moore. As Moore goes way to the high side, blows the entrance into turn number 1. That's going to cost him some ground and open up the door for Michael Anthony, who's going to get a run down the Nellis back straightaway here. Trying to get up to his balls out teammate Chris Worrell and James Lowe. Checking back just outside the top, or just inside the top 20. There's Stephen Tuck in the 10, working the outside of Evan Kinney in the 24. Lane Hosler right there as well. Batby and Lowe now go to door down the back straightaway. Lowe on the top side, Batby on the low side. Lowe with the nose out front going into turn number 3 in that Sim Cube Toyota. Trying to make something happen. Lowe has had some success here in other series, as you have seen here on Sim Racing Media. It's Collins trying to figure out what he's got to do to get by both of them. Checking back in just inside the top 10. That is Worrell, Pack, Moore, Morrison, and Barnett all going after each other. 69 Darren Staff there as well. Then you got a little bit of a breakaway to the top 3. A little bit of separation as Brian Toole trying to latch onto the tail end of that lead little freight train. But right now, the big moving is going on just inside the top 10 as Worrell and Morrison go door to door going into 1. And they've got Barnett and Moore running door to door behind him. Looks like there may have been a little bit of chrome horn action on Chris Worrell's Toyota. He had to chase it down the track coming off a 2. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. Meanwhile, right in front of him, the Darren Staff and Ken Pack starting to pull away as they run stem to stern. James Lowe with the nose out front going into 1. Side by side with Matt Batby, as Batby has been classified as leading every lap so far here in Vegas. And I forgot to do it again, and I apologize, folks. I forgot to turn the ticker on. And you see it with Lowe out front by half a fender. Batby battles back. Lowe and Batby door to door coming to the stripe. Who's going to get it? Give it to Batby by 2 1/1000ths of a second. Good grief. Little 7-truck breakaway at the front of this piece. 6-truck anyways. Parker Collins throws it to the extreme low side. He was looking to make it 3 wide, thought better of it. It's a 3-way slugfest for 4th, 5th, and 6th right now, with Toole, Pack, and Staff right behind this lead trio. Checking in with Parker Collins. There he is, the Pied Piper of Peoria, Illinois. Currently sitting in third, trying to make his way up through the point standings. Clinched Rookie of the Year at this time last season. Looking to improve on that this year. With the nose out front coming to the line, James Lowe gets credited with leading a lap. Batby sends it going into one, though. And I don't know why that says, aha, that's why. Because we are not at Talladega, we are at Vegas. There we go. That's much better. Batby and Lowe continue to slug it out. As now Ken Pack has worked to the outside of Parker Collins and wrestled third away from him. There is Pack out of Greer, South Carolina. Greer is one of those places that has a nice small town feel to it. I'm not saying it's a small town, but it's got that nice southern small town feel to it. A lot of hospitality down there. As Lowe and Batby continue this battle for the lead, you got to wonder, are they just using up their tires? They've only got 4 sets to get them through 120 laps here tonight. We're only working lap 14. Taking a quick look, as after 14 laps, we're looking at about a half a second of fall off across the board for everybody. Checking back with Joey Stiers as he's already climbed his way up 3 spots, working the inside of Chris Worrell. Stiers has some ways to go to catch defending series champion Greg Barnett, as he's already almost 3/4 of a second up the road from this battle. As there is Barnett in the POW MIA number 38 Ford F-150. Trying to reel in Jeremy Morrison and Jeremy Moore. It's an all-Jeremy battle for 7th right now, as there is Moore in the Stars and Stripes number 9. And they finally got single-filed out up towards the front as Lowe now shows the way. There he is. Matt Batby slotting into second. Ken Pack in third. There is Parker Collins in fourth. In that Rowdy Energy number 18, Darren Staff in the 69. That's rounding out your top 5. Brian Toole right there in the Kubota 99. Here's Jeremy Moore in 7th. Jeremy Morrison in 8th. Greg Barnett in 9th. And Joey Stiers has caught Barnett. Now the question is, can he get by him? That is your top 10 as they currently sit. Then you're 3/4 of a second back to this peloton, if you will, that consists of Chris Worrell, Nate Brown, Michael Anthony, Kevin Hayes, Austin Carey, Lane Hosler, and Evan Kinney. Some heavy hitters back there. Taking a look for third, as Parker Collins got sick and tired of following Ken Pack. He was looking to get away, find a way around the Prisma Health number 12. Checking back with Nate Brown. We're going to see if we can get a closer look at that. Aha! That's the Easter egg he was talking about. As you can see, some of the football team pictures kind of ghosted in the white on that truck. I'm kind of digging that. He showed me 2 versions of that truck. He wasn't sure which one he was going to run, and told me there was going to be an Easter egg in each one. So let's see what he does next week. If the Cuse wins, he's going to the blue truck. But I'm digging the orange and white. I really am. As we're going to check back, that's Kevin Hayes in the breast cancer awareness number 51. The man who calls Indianapolis, Indiana home. And we do highlight this truck for a couple of simple facts that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I know nobody likes to really talk about the elephant in the room, but the best course of action you can take, and if you have loved ones out there, everybody, I guarantee you, you know someone who's been affected by breast cancer. And the best way to combat it, get tested early and get tested often, because early detection is the most best known way to combat that disease. So we ask that everybody get tested early, get tested often, and this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The other thing that it also is, October is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Nobody should ever have to live in fear. And if you're in a situation where you're being abused mentally, physically, or emotionally, and you don't feel like you can really reach out and talk openly about it, the best way to do this, and there's been studies done, is ask your significant other or family member who is the abuser in the situation, ask them if they'd like a pizza for dinner, and then just dial emergency services, and they'll take it from there. As a matter of fact, that's what they ask you to do, so you don't have to, if you're with the attacker non-stop and can't get away, call emergency services and ask to order a pizza, and they'll take it from there. Happier thoughts, though. James Lowe showing the right way right now. Matt Batby, Parker Collins, Darren Staff, and Ken Pack rounding out your top 5 as we currently sit. Tommy checking in with us now. Of course, father of defending series champion Greg Barnett. Greg currently running back there in 16th, just kind of saving his equipment right now, not really putting the truck in a precarious situation. And he's got his rival from last season. They still were 1-2 in the points for the last half of the season. It's Austin Carey in the Falcon Tire number 22, currently running in 17th. And that is Kevin Becker in the 25, trying to get it done on the inside. Nate Brown working with Lane Hosler right now, as that's your battle for 13th and 14th. Evan Kinney right there as well, as Kinney working to the outside of Hosler, going through 1 and 2. Carey and Barnett go door to door coming off of 2. Barnett on the way low side, giving a lot of respect and a lot of room, trying to bring that truck home in one piece. Greg Barnett and I have very similar driving styles. There's a lot of drivers out there that it's either bring me this trophy or bring me the steering wheel, whereas I look at it as you're driving a $100,000 vehicle, though it's a simulator, but you treat it like you're driving a $100,000 vehicle. And I don't know about you folks, but I can't write that check. Top 3 in a breakaway right now. That's James Lowe, Matt Batby, and Parker Collins. And they've got a second and a half to the clear over that battle right there for 4th that rages on between Darren Staff in the 69 and Brian Tools number 99. And as Ken Pack has started to reel them in the 12, he's got Jeremy Moore with him, same with Joey Stiers. And then you're just over half a second back to Chris Worrell, who's kind of on an island all by himself right now. Here you see Stiers working the inside of Moore, going into 3. Moore gives plenty of room. Stiers right down on the apron. Apparently that truck was running a little bit tight as he was trying to free it up by just touching 2 onto the apron. That sometimes can do that, but you better be prepared when it does it, because it's going to happen quickly. As Batby looking to the inside of Lowe. This is your battle for the lead. Coming down the Nellis back straightaway. Drag race going into turn number 3. Lowe on the high side. Batby on the low shelf. Still side by side. Batby going to send it in there. Lowe tries to hang on the top side. And second lane starting to come in early. And no, folks, your eyes are not deceiving you. We are going to finish under the lights here tonight at Vegas. So you can see the Moscow lighting the turns here as the truck's flashing through. Battle for the lead still door to door. Lowe in the SimQ number 77. Batby in the Exalta number 85. Parker Collins just telling them, go ahead guys, use your stuff up. I'll pass you both before too long. Definitely a turnaround in seasons for Parker Collins. Last season he had a lot of short run speed. This season he's worked on conserving tires and he's had a lot of late run speed. As a matter of fact, Parker Collins, the quickest car on track the last lap with a 32.20. Compare that to the 32.32 of both Batby and Lowe last time by. Just past the quarter mark here in the 120 laps for Vegas for round 5 of the CleanRacing.net Truck Series. And if you folks haven't done so already, we ask that you give this video a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. It really does help share these videos with the YouTube algorithm. The more thumbs up a video gets, the more likely it is to show up on somebody's homepage when they log into their YouTube account as, hey, you liked this, you might like the CleanRacing.net Truck Series. It really does help the more thumbs up we get on these videos. And again, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action here on Sim Racing Media. As we've got 3 races going live right now. The SCL International Cup Series as they go to Michigan. Of course, you're at the CleanRacing.net Truck Series here from Vegas, round number 5. The Elite Entertainment ARCA Series, round number 3 at the Milwaukee Mile is also happening right now. And then we have a quintuple header tomorrow, starting at noon Eastern with the Midday Racing League as they go to round number 3 at Iowa. At 8:20 Eastern Time, we have the AARL Trucker Street America Cup Series as they go to their playoff cutoff race at Chicagoland. At 8:40 will be the Rickman-Tech Cup Series, round number 14 at Charlotte. The Monsters of Energy NASCAR Racing League will fire off at 8:50 Eastern Time as they have their playoff round of 12 race 2 from Phoenix. And the nightcap, as we always do here on Sim Racing Media, and have proudly done so for the past 3.5 years, the Western States Racing League, season number 47, round number 14, from the Miracle Mile up in Loudon, New Hampshire. And again, that's just tomorrow. 5 races in one day. Tell me we're not busy trying to give you folks some content. As checking back with the battle for 6th, that's Chris Worrell, who's reeled in Joey Stiers, works the inside as Michael Anthony has also gotten by Ken Pack as we've got green flag pit stops already kicking off. Jeremy Moore, Evan Kenny, Nate Brown, and Kevin Becker, as well as Abram Gaston. Nope. Gaston not going to go pit side. He was just way down low coming off of 4. But green flag pit stops already starting to take place here on lap 38. Almost a third of the way through this piece already, as we are doing 120 laps here tonight at Vegas. Matt Batby has gotten the lead back away from Parker Collins and James Lowe. Lowe back to 3rd, Collins up into 2nd. And they've got a 2.5 seconds to the good over that man right there in the Coors Light, number 69. That is Darren Staff. Brian Toole sits in 5th. Chris Worrell starting to reel him in, though, as the 69 peels off, almost gets run over, as James Lowe and Darren Staff both bringing him pit side to try to cut off that undercut. Parker Collins has wrestled the lead away from Matt Batby as Batby battles back down the Nellis back straightaway. Drag race going into turn number 3 between Collins and Batby. Collins on the top shelf. Batby on the low side. Both trying to get that one done as Worrell and Toole. It looks like Toole coming pit side this time. Worrell stays out. Steyer stays out. Michael Anthony stays out. Pack, Hayes, Hosler, Collins, Tuck, Morrison, and Smith running out your top 10 as we currently sit. 1/3 of the way through this piece, working lap 41 of 120. Parker Collins and Greg Barnett both bringing him pit side. Here comes Batby. Worrell flashes by. Worrell going to get credited with leading his first lap tonight. All-important bonus point there. Joey Steyer's on his heels. And you got to wonder, with as deep as Steyer started, did he burn up his tires too soon? Lane Hosler out on track right now. He's working on Kevin Hayes in the 51. So those two go door to door. Little Ford on Chevy action. Hauling it off into turn number 3. Still side by side. Hosler sends it. Hayes wisely backs off. Looks like Hayes might be coming pit side this time, as is Ken Pack. Yes, he is. Let's move Hosler up into 3rd. Stephen Tuck in 4th. 4 wide. Good grief. Oh, this can only end poorly. It's Brian Toole on the fresh tires, trying to get his way around. Morrison and Smith go door to door going into turn number 3. Smith going to wrestle it away as Morrison drops back to 6th. We do need to thank our very good friends over at the Ringside Report Network, ringsidereport.net, for all your boxing, wrestling, MMA, kickboxing, Tai Chi, Taekwondo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whatever the combat sport is. Ringsidereport.net is where you need to be, and their streams can be found on all your favorite streaming platforms. As here comes Chris Smith to bring it pit side. Worrell right now, a second to the good over Joey Steyers. That's what a second looks like here at Vegas. And then you're 2.5 seconds back to that man, Lane Hosler, as he's got some lap trucks around him. That is the 94 of Fred Garcia. Still 26 trucks running around here. It's Abram Gaston flirting with disaster on the low side. Fastest lap of the race just set a couple seconds ago, as that man, Michael Anthony, went 30.85 as he works around Nate Brown. All those guys right there in that little grouping have completed their green flag pit stop. The only ones have left to come down is going to be Worrell, Steyers, Hosler, Tuck, Morrison, and Twain. They are the only 6 trucks who have not gone pit side yet. And you got to wonder, how long are they going to stay out to stop the hemorrhaging? As there is James Lowe, your effective race lead, looking to get his lap back the hard way on his teammate Chris Worrell. Do you need to say a special hello to Aunt Mary, who I'm sure is watching her favorite nephew race here tonight at Las Vegas? And just like that, James Lowe back on the lead lap. Chris Worrell is going to have to stop the hemorrhaging quickly. Last time by for Worrell, a 32.51. Last time by for Lowe, a 31.23. So, second and a quarter is the fall off. between the haves and have-nots as Ryan Twain brings it pit side. Worrell coming pit side this time. Stiers also coming in sideways. Get it down there. Joey Stiers just barely able to get that one woed in time. It's Jeremy Morrison, the last one to bring it pit side. That's going to be the effective race lead right there with James Lowe, as he is over 2.5 seconds to the clear over Darren Staff, who currently sits in 7th. This is 6th and 7th, respectively. But here goes Lowe to the lead as Worrell and company still on pit road. Staff up into 2nd as they're working around the deuce. That is Todd Osborne, series debutant. Their biggest mover of the race so far is that man in the 24. That is Evan Kinney, sitting plus 12. Kevin Becker in the 25, currently sitting plus 14. Who says you can't pass at Vegas? But right now, the man of the hour, James Lowe, in only his 2nd start here with the CleanRacing.net Truck Series, looking to just carve one out here at Vegas. Battle for 4th, hot and heavy, as that is Matt Batby working the inside of Evan Kinney. They've got the lap truck that is the 8 of Ryan Twain right there in front of them, as Twain does have the fresher tires of the 3. Still side by side, Batby and Kinney. Still trying to get this one figured out. Chris Worrell, by benefit of staying out as long as he did, has dropped to 11th. So a little bit of pit strategery not playing into Worrell's hands, as something just happened to Fred Garcia. Let's go back and take a look, see if we can figure out what just took place with the Chief Cook and Bottle Washer here. Here you see him in the Tide ride. Catches the apron, bangs the wall. Down onto the apron, and immediately tows. Gets that thing way down off track. As the left front suspension on that Chevy is now Bluetooth. Think about that, folks. As we go back live, fastest lap of the race belongs to that man, Lane Hosler, as he just went 30.79. That is fast lap of the night. Not just the race, the entire night, including the hot lap session. Checking back in with the slugfest that is 4th place. Evan Kinney and Matt Batby still have not gotten clear of each other. Kinney out of Freeville, New York, trying to bring one home here tonight. Checking back in, there's Kevin Becker, your biggest mover so far, sitting plus 14. If Kenny can get up into 3rd, he'll tie him. And there is Kinney and Batby, as Batby goes way down onto the apron. Meanwhile, James Lowe and Michael Anthony are starting to run away with this one. As there is Lowe in 1st. Michael Anthony currently sits in 2nd. There he is, as he's gotten clear of Darren Staff. The only problem is the two of them are 2.5 seconds behind James Lowe right now. And there is Evan Kinney and Matt Batby, who are 1.25 behind these two. Or behind those two, I should say. Then you've got the 9 of Jeremy Moore right there, as well as Nate Brown in the 5. Field's starting to get a little strung out here. Little pockets starting to form of different battles raging on. Checking back in with defending series champion Greg Barnett. There he is with both Justin and Austin Carey right in front of him. Abram Gaston not that far to the trail, as that is your battle for 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. Barnett running a smart race here, just not overdriving the truck, trying to save his equipment. Knows you got to be it. In order to finish first, you must first finish. Probably the wisest words ever spoken. And no, I did not make that up. There's Joey Stiers and Kevin Hayes going after each other for 13th and 14th. Lane Hosler right there as they go side by side. Hosler's got to be loving this in his rearview mirror. And that lead that James Lowe had carved out is slowly starting to creep downward. It's Michael Anthony nipping into it. What was a 2.5 second gap is now down to just barely over a second. Darren Staff still with a 1.5 seconds to the clear over this battle between Evan Kinney and Matt Batby. Batby, your pole sitter, apparently guessed wrong on pit entry and unfortunately did not get that truck onto and off of pit road as effectively as he really wanted to. Evan Kinney holds down fourth. So James Lowe, Michael Anthony, Darren Staff, Evan Kinney, Matt Batby, Jeremy Moore, Nate Brown, Kevin Becker, Chris Worrell, and Ken Pack, as they currently sit here working lap 61 of 120. So we are at the halfway mark, and while we are here, we're going to step away, pay a couple bills, and we'll be back right after this. And we are back at Las Vegas for round number 5 of the CleanRacing.net Truck Series. Tony Trapasso up in the booth with you for this one. Thank you so much for making us part of your Monday evening. So we're watching Chris Worrell claw his way back into the top 5 as his teammate James Lowe continues to show the way around the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You're just past the halfway mark, working lap 68 of 120 here tonight. Michael Anthony in the Balls Energy number 88 currently sits in second. Darren Staff in the Coors Light 69 running in third. Worrell has a second and a half to try to make up on Staff right now. Checking back in with your closest battle on track. It's going to be back here for 13th. It's Kevin Hayes on the top shelf, Brian Toole on the low side. And you can see Toole has a little bit of damage on the right side of that Toyota. See a little bit of crinkle in that right front fender, and it looks like he's cheese grated the right side at some point. Let's see it right here. Oh, yeah. He is definitely eating concrete here at Las Vegas at some point. This Toole continues to drop spots. Checking in front of them is the 25 of Kevin Becker, your current biggest mover, as he's got Nate Brown all over his tailgate right now, going through 1 and 2. Stephen Tuck and Justin Carey going after each other. That is your battle for 17th and 18th. You see Greg Barnett there in the background. Barnett currently sitting back in 19th. Series debutant Tommy Osborne racing it out with Ryan Twain. Two series debutants going after each other right now, as they both sit a lap down to your race leader, James Lowe. Matter of fact, Twain, if a caution were to come out, Twain is in the free pass position in the 8. But I would like to point out that of the 5 previous races here at Vegas, all but one had no cautions. And that other race, back in season 10, 1 caution. So we are on pace to match that stat. It's James Lowe, Michael Anthony, Darren Staff, Chris Worrell, Evan Kinney, Matt Batby, Jeremy Moore, Kevin Becker, Nate Brown, and Ken Pack round out your top 10 as Hosler on the attack. Pack has his rearview mirror filled with Ford right now. As Hosler bombs it to the inside. Drag race down the back straight away as this is your battle for 10th. Side by side, Hosler on the low shelf, Pack on the top side. As we're going to go on board with Lane Hosler. Business starting to pick up for third as Chris Worrell has caught Darren Staff. Little Toyota on Toyota action at the front of this piece is the top 4 trucks all coming out of the Japanese manufacturer based in Texas where they make the Tundra. Evan Kinney, Matt Batby, and Kevin Becker bringing it down for what should be their money stops as we work lap 75 of 120 here tonight at Vegas. Worrell now up into third. As a matter of fact, it's a Balls Energy 1-2-3. James Lowe in the 77, Michael Anthony in the 88, and Chris Worrell in the 97 run 1, 2, and 3. Now the question is, can they stay that way? They're going to need to cut off the undercut quickly. was just checking in with the
87.
live chat right
Run.
now. Oh, no. Well, knew that was bound to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this. Sorry about the technical difficulties, folks. We are back at Las Vegas. Round number 5 of the CleanRacing.net Truck Series. As Michael Anthony currently showing the way as Chris Worrell flashes past his teammate. James Lowe has already been pit side. Worrell now leads the way. Anthony, Hosler, Pack, and Hayes all bring him pit side. Stiers up into second as Anthony, Pack, Hayes, Hosler, and Gaston all go down pit road. Justin Carey moves up into third. Stephen Tuck sits in fourth. Chris Smith rounds out your top 5 as there's only a handful of trucks that have not been pit side. Effective race lead belongs to that man right there, right behind his Balls Energy teammate. Lowe gets back on the lead lap the hard way. The 2 of Osborne and the 8 of Twain get out of the way. Worrell should be coming pit side this time. He's got to stop the hemorrhaging. Yep, there he goes. Let's see if Stiers is going to follow him here. Nope, Stiers stays out. Trying to get that all-important bonus point. Yes, he does. Stiers is going to get credited with leading a lap. Chris Smith goes pit. Michael Anthony on a flyer right now as he's in heavy traffic. Gets his lap back the hard way. Picks his way around the 9. Went purple in Sector 1. Let's see what Sector 2 looks like for the 88. Coming across the stripe. Improves on his own fast lap. Not the fastest lap of the event, though. That still belongs to Lane Hosler with a 30.79. So Steyer stays out again as his Brownie Racing teammate right there in front of him currently runs in 12th. As Hosler trying to figure out what he's got to do to get by the 9 of Moore. There's the 14 of Chris Smith down and out of the way. It's Matt Batby, Kevin Becker going after each other. Jeremy Morrison right there as well. Now Moore works the inside of Morrison. Morrison off pace badly right now. So as I see this, only 2 trucks have yet to come down pit side. And that is your race leader, Joey Stiers, and the 10 of Stephen Tuck. Those are the only 2 that have not been pit side for what should be their money stop. Effective race lead is going to go to that man right there, working the inside of Jamie LaRoque's KentHendrickCars.com number 15. And that thing looks like it's been through a war already tonight. Michael Anthony effectively in second, currently runs in 4th. But he's got 6.5 seconds to make up on his teammate. Basically, the entirety of the distance between the middle of 1 and 2 and the middle of 3 and 4. As he has the 21 of Justin Carey all over his tailgate right now. That is not for position, as Carey just came down 5 laps ago, so he does have the fresher shoes of the 2. Stephen Tuck, Jeremy Morrison, and Ryan Twain all bringing them pit side for their final stops. The question is, when is Stiers going to come in? That's the biggest key right now. We know Stiers knows how to get everything out of a tank of Go Fast, as Lane Hosler with a good head of steam right there, coming up to get his lap back the hard way in 11th currently. Checking back in with Chris Worrell, as he still has Tommy Osborne right there with him. And here comes Hosler. Good grief, shot out of a cannon. Hosler gets by Worrell. Worrell's hit something. Let's go back and see if we can see what happened here. Oh yeah, no, Worrell has hit something prior to that. Let's back this up a little bit. There he's got a clean nose. It's Nate Brown in front of him. Oh my. Helps if you call your pit, bud. Let's back that up and watch that one again. So you're going to see the 8 peel off to go pit side. And we'll slow this down, but Jeremy Moore catching a huge piece of it. Boom goes the dynamite there. Well, that throws a monkey wrench in the works, doesn't it? I can promise you, all sorts of words and phrases not available for broadcast were being used in the cockpit of the number 97 here tonight. Checking back in with the battle for 7th, Nate Brown and Darren Staff still going after each other like two kids in the backseat of a minivan on summer vacation. As Joey Stiers finally brings it pit side. Jeremy Moore just trying to hang on as we are 25 laps to go. There is Lowe coming through the tri-oval now. That is your effective race lead. Now it actually is your actual race lead. 24 to go. And his teammate Michael Anthony 5 seconds behind. There he is, working with the 21 of Justin Carey. Lowe starting to come up on some lap traffic. That is the 2 of Tommy Osborne. And I believe I saw Austin Carey up there as well. Yes, I did. There is the Falcon Tires double deuce of Carey. Kevin Hayes and Ken Pack going after each other now. Little Chevy on Chevy action. Greg Barnett trying to make a move on, or Joey Stiers working on Greg Barnett. Stiers with the much fresher tires of the 2. Chris Worrell getting up and out of the way with all the damage on the nose of that truck. He's going to be lucky if that thing lasts another 22 laps, as we are currently 22 to go. Barnett in 14th. Stiers now up into 13th. There's Kevin Hayes and Ken Pack still going after each other. Nate Brown and Lane Hosler slugging it out there. That is just inside the top 10. Battle for 7th and 8th. The 14 of Chris Smith is a lap truck. Carrying Worrell way off pace right now by almost 10 mile an hour down the straightaway. Checking back in with a battle for 9th and 10th. It's Hayes on the top shelf. Pack on the low side. Pack going to have the short way around. Hayes, though, keeps his foot in it on that top shelf. It's Abram Gaston having connection issues. Hosler working his way around the 69 of Darren Staff. Matt Batby right in front of him. As soon as Batby got into traffic, that truck has not been as strong as it was on the or in the clean air. Definitely not having a good time of it in that Exalta number 85 here tonight. But Hosler hustling the Hosler Fencing and Construction number 61 F-150. One of only 3 Fords in the field tonight. Currently only one inside the top 10. As defending series champion Greg Barnett, the next highest running Ford, sits back in 14th, just trying to bring that truck home in one piece. 18 laps to go. This man shows the way in the 77, and that is James Lowe, and only his second start here with the CleanRacing.net Truck Series, flirting with victory lane. Michael Anthony, his teammate, sits in second. Unfortunately for the third teammate, Chris Worrell, he currently sits back in 17th, a lap down. Evan Kinney holds down the number 3 spot right now. There is Kevin Becker in 4th, Lane Hosler in 5th, and Darren Staff and Matt Batby are just going after each other. As a matter of fact, Staff was all sorts of sideways coming off a 2, as it looks like Batby may have given him the chrome horn. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about when I say that, let's call it road rage, where you use the front end of your vehicle to voice your displeasure with the vehicle in front of you. Nate Brown back in 8th, Kevin Hayes back in 9th, and Ken Pack. There are Hayes and Pack, that's 9th and 10th respectively. Joey Stiers, who was the last one to come down to get the money stop out of the way, currently sits in 11th, 2.5 seconds behind this battle for 9th and 10th. Checking back in up in front of these guys, that is Batby and Brown starting to pick up the pace here. 15 laps to go. It'll be 14 as Lowe crosses the start-finish line, about a half a lap ahead of this battle for 7th. And that is heavy traffic in front of these guys. They're going to have to get this sorted out pretty quickly. Brown may have saved his tires a little bit better than the 85 of Batby did. Batby has not had it his own way since he's gotten into the dirty air of traffic. Once he had clean air in front of him when he was leading from the pole, he was a force to be reckoned with. Now, not quite as much. That truck not as comfortable in dirty air as it is in clean air. Nate Brown up into 7th. Rocking the Syracuse University orange colors. Go Cuse. Hayes and Pack still going after it as Joey Stiers has gotten by both of them. There Stiers is sitting in 9th, Hayes into 10th, Pack back to 11th. As connection issues continue for Avram Gaston. So James Lowe's lead, which was 5 seconds, now sitting at 4. $11 laps to go. There is Michael Anthony, his teammate, who currently sits in 2nd. And in the 10 or so races that we have had 2 drivers from Balls Out Racing on track at the same time, this is going to be the 5th time that we have seen a Balls Guarana or Balls Energy 1-2 finish. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to sweep the podium as Chris Worrell continues to have troubles. He's already dropped back to 19th after miscommunication with somebody trying to get on a pit road, and Worrell having nowhere to go, just blasts the tailgate of the truck in front of him, who also blasted the guy who was trying to get to pit road. So here's something they're going to talk to Ryan Twain about before the next race kicks off, about communicating that you're going pit side a little bit more effectively. Meanwhile, Kevin Becker and Lane Hosler going after each other. That is your battle for 4th. Hot and heavy as we are 9 to go. It's Becker in the 25, Hosler in the 61. Hosler on the slightly fresher tires by about 5 laps. This late into a run, those tires should have equalized by now, although Lane Hosler is one of the best at saving equipment and still getting pace out of those Goodyear Eagles. As a matter of fact, last time by, Hosler 32.19, Becker 32.30. This time 32.30 for Becker. Again, 32.26 for Hosler. As he does have a little bit more pace. He had to check up to make sure he didn't get into Becker. Drag race down the back straightaway. As they haul it off into turn number 3, almost door-to-door. Becker got the better run on the top side, coming off of 2. He's going to try to use that momentum again off of 4. Hosler having none of it as they are still side by side. Dead heat at the line between those two. As now Hosler hustles it going into 1, does have the clear, and he's going to try to throw the slide job on Becker. Becker, though, is there. Hosler not wanting to push the issue with only 7 to go. Now finally does have the legitimate clear as Becker tries to battle back on the top side. This is your closest battle on track. This is your battle for 4th and 5th. Hosler has it. Becker wants it back. In case you're wondering what's going on up at the front of this piece, 4.5 seconds is the gap between your race leader, James Lowe. There he is in the SimCube Toyota as he's getting ready to put defending series champion Greg Barnett a lap down in 14th. And his teammate, there is Michael Anthony, currently sitting 4.5 seconds behind. Evan Kinney is another 5 3/4 seconds behind. Hosler another 2.25 there as he's got Becker right on him. Checking back in with your pole sitter, Matt Batby. There he is as Joey Stiers has gotten clear of him. So Batby back to 9th. And Kevin Hayes and Ken Pack have not gotten away from each other yet, as they've been going after each other since this round of green flag pit stops kicked off. This is your closest battle on track. Only one retirement to speak of so far, and that, of course, is our series host, Mr. Fred Garcia. And a big thank you goes out to Fred and his lovely wife, as without them and without their concern, this league would not happen. We also need to thank our good friends over at the ringsidereport.net for all your boxing, wrestling, kickboxing, taekwondo, Muay Thai, any of your combat sports. You're going to find information on the latest happenings on the ringsidereport.net. As that is the 9 of Jeremy Moore getting up and out of the way. Moore being scored as the last truck still running. Checking back in with Nate Brown and Joey Stiers as his 2 Brownie Racing teammates almost banging fenders coming through the tri-oval. 2 laps to go, though. Stiers up in 7th, Brown back to 8th. Brown, of course, missed last week, and that definitely is going to hurt him in the point standings. But decent recovery run here tonight, as we started 26 trucks, and he's going to come home in the top half of the field anyways. White flag in the air. We are racing back to checkers. Not much of a race, though, as James Lowe already going into turn number 3. There he is in the SimCube Toyota. His teammate Chris Worrell right in front of him. In only his second start with the CleanRacing.net Truck Series, engine builder extraordinaire James Lowe comes home with the victory tonight at Vegas. Michael Anthony crosses for 2nd. There's Evan Kinney crossing for 3rd. Lane Hosler coming home in 4th. Kevin Becker rounding out your top 5. What a race we just saw. Check it. Green to checker. Not a single caution flag to be seen. We don't just call it CleanRacing.net Truck Series for nothing, folks. But as he is coming down to start his... that's not what I wanted. as he is coming down to start his victory celebration. We are going to go trackside to the man himself in only his second start. James Lowe, congratulations on winning here at Vegas.
Hey, Tony, man, I appreciate it.
It's been too long since we've spoken, my friend.
It has, and I'm glad Fred let me come out and race with him. I think I gave one away last week. I think I should have been 2 for 2, but I messed myself up last week with a speeding penalty, so I gave one away. But tonight, everything just kind of went my way with the pit strategy there, so yeah, just lucky, I guess.
And for the 5th time since we've had 2 drivers from Balls Out Racing in the field together, this marks the 5th time that we've had a 1-2 finish from you guys.
Well, I think we would have had a 1-2-3 finish. Chris was running good there, and then I guess somebody was pitting, and
he didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, I didn't get the notification, so that caused a little problem there. But Chris would have been right up here with us, so a good run overall for the whole team.
Absolutely. But James, again, only your second race here with the CleanRacing.net Truck Series. How do you like the competition here so far?
I mean, it's great. I mean, I've ran 2 races. They've both gone caution-free. I mean, you can't really ask for more than that. There's really good guys in here racing, so I'm enjoying it. So can't wait for next week.
Yeah, absolutely. As you speak of next week, I believe, let me just double-check here. That's where I wanted to be. We go to Homestead, and I know for a fact in other leagues that you've run in, you've had a lot of success at that 1.5 down in South Beach.
Yeah, I really like Homestead. It's one of my favorite tracks on here. We'll see how it plays out. Sometimes I tend to push a little bit too hard there on the first run, so maybe I can tone that back and see how we do there.
All right, James, who do you need to thank before we let you go celebrate your first victory here in the CleanRacing.net Truck Series?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, just thank Fred for letting me come race with him. It was really nice of him, and I'm glad I could come out here and run with all the rest of the guys, and especially my boys, Mike Anthony and Chris Worrell. I'm glad they got me to come run this thing with them, and yeah, we'll see how it goes next week.
It's good to see all the boys back in town, and best of luck to you next week from Homestead.
I appreciate it.
So that was James Lowe, your race winner, and joining us now, his teammate in the Balls Energy, number 88, Michael Anthony. It's getting kind of monotonous with, you guys from Balls Out Racing going 1-2 here in the CleanRacing.net Truck Series.
Yeah, we had a good run tonight. Unfortunately, our teammate Chris couldn't join us in the run. He got into a little trouble on pit road, or someone else entered pit road. But yeah, it was a good run.
It was a very solid run out of both you guys. You were able to carve your way through the field, especially after the green flag pit stops were going on. You guys really kept your cool, it looked like, and you had a mission and you ran it to almost perfection.
Yeah, I just made a little mistake on the first run with strategy. You didn't really need to save tires as much as I thought you did, so I kind of got too much of a gap. I think the leaders had probably like a 5.5, 6 second gap before I realized that you needed to go, and I was able to carve through the field and get a second place, but I felt like I could have definitely competed for the win at least tonight if I caught on to that early.
Well, you got another crack at 1.5 miles next week as we go into South Beach and Miami Homestead. I know for a fact, again, from watching you in other series, you've had some pretty good success down in South Beach.
Yeah, Homestead's a good track of mine. I'll have to get some practice there, and hopefully we can get a win next week. Still don't have a win this season, so.
Well, yet, but there's still plenty of racing left. Mike, who do you need to thank before we let you go celebrate that 1-2 victory with, or 1-2 finish with James?
Fred, first for putting on the league. It's always fun doing these on Monday nights. The broadcast, SRM, Tony for hosting this. Like I said, it's always fun to go back and watch these and review the race and whatnot, especially when it's a good one like this. My friends, James, congrats on the win. Chris, Balls Out Racing. And yeah, can't wait to go out there again next week.
All right, Michael Anthony, best of luck to you next week in Miami.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. And joining us now, the man who's going to round out our podium, Not quite the biggest mover, but definitely a big mover here tonight, sitting plus 14, coming home in third. Evan Kinney, not the qualifying attempt you were hoping for it by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, definitely not. But Nate got me a good strategy, and it was good enough to get me up here with all the balls. So I feel pretty good about that.
Absolutely, as as I was mentioning to those guys, this is the 5th time they have gone 1-2, but you definitely had a very strong truck at the end here. As a matter of fact, you were actually starting to run down Michael Anthony.
Yeah, I, for whatever reason, tend to be pretty good at saving tires. So if we had another 20 laps in the race, maybe I would have got there. But my bad track position at the start of the race really did not help. I think if I had qualified better, I would have been right there with them, maybe competing for a win. But I'm happy with third considering where I started.
Well, we're going to a race next week that the last time we were there, you did put it on the podium, and that's Homestead, Miami. Talk us to your thoughts going into South Beach next week.
Yeah, I've been pretty hit or miss with Homestead, so we'll have to see. I'm sure Nate will come up with a good strategy for us, and we'll be pretty competitive. We may have to change our team name to like Testicles Out Racing or something to match these other guys. But
Not exactly.
Hopefully we'll be up there, and we'll be able to compete with them.
Well, what their sponsor is, it's an energy drink, and it actually is called Balls, BAWLS.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was just trying to be funny. Those guys are great, and I'm very happy they're here, and they've brought some awesome competition to this league. So just trying to make some jest, no hard feelings towards those guys. Absolutely love them.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to get the joke. But, Evan, one of your best finishes this season so far. Still looking for that breakthrough, and we're wishing you the best next week in Miami. Who do you need to thank before we let you go celebrate the podium here tonight?
Yeah, just my Brownie Racing guys. Nate always comes up with a great strategy. Jeremy and Kevin were going to have a great run, but got plagued by the unannounced pit call as well. So sucks for those guys. But you guys for putting on a great broadcast, and just Fred for putting this lead together and putting up with it all the time. So thank you guys, and thanks to Fred.
All right, Evan Kinney, congratulations on the podium. Best of luck to you next week in Miami.
Thanks, Tony. Go Qs.
Absolutely. So that is going to do it for tonight's action. Taking a quick look at our finishing order: James Lowe, Michael Anthony, Evan Kinney. We heard from those three gentlemen. Lane Hosler, Kevin Becker rounding out your top 5. Joey Stiers, Darren Staff, Nate Brown, Matt Batby, and Kevin Hayes make up your top 10. Ken Pack, Abram Gaston, and Brian Toole rounding out your lead lap trucks in 13th. Greg Barnett, first truck one or more laps down in 14th. Justin Carey edging out Austin Carey for 15th and 16th. Stephen Tuck and Chris Smith running out your top 18. Jeremy Morrison and Tommy Osborne in his debut race rounding out your top 20. Parker Collins not having the night he would want after running up front early, coming home in 21st. Chris Worrell getting a big piece of that incident during the final round of the green flag pit stops, coming home in 22nd. Ryan Twinem, Ryan, I'm butchering your last name, and I don't know why. I do apologize. But currently sitting in 23rd. Jamie LaRoque and Jeremy Moore rounding out your finishing trucks. Fred Garcia did put it on the hauler early in the number 94 Ringside Report.net Chevy Silverado. So that is going to do it for us tonight. Be sure to join us tomorrow here on Sim Racing Media as we have a quintuple header. Yes, I said quintuple. 5 races tomorrow night. Starting off at noon Eastern with the Midday Racing League Xfinity Series, round number 3 from Iowa. Then at 8:20 we go to the AARL Truckers Feed America Cup Series as they go to their playoff cutoff race at Chicagoland. That's an 8:20 Eastern Time start on that one. Rick Matek Cup Series goes to round 14 at Charlotte at 8:40, and at 8:50 we have the Monster Energy NASCAR Racing League as they go to their playoff round of 12, race number 2 from Phoenix, and the nightcap, as we always do here on Sim Racing Media, the Western States Racing League, season number 47, round number 14 from the Miracle Mile up in Loudon, New Hampshire. On behalf of Mr. Fred Garcia and the CleanRacing.net Truck Series, this is Tony Chapasso reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that until we meet again, as you walk down the road of life this week, whatever you do, don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.